cult leader here speaking. That doesn't work. I'm trying to come up with some kind of a cult-like way to start these videos, because we are 1,000 strong, so that's a pretty scary cult already. Main reason why I want to do intro like this on my videos is that, once the day comes when I flip out, people can go to my YouTube channel and point my videos and say, there were signs. There definitely were signs. Anyway, today we're looking at 5 games that made me a gamer. I stole the idea for this video from a couple of schmucks from Canada. But those people are too nice to get angry about it. Besides, their dog Teddy hates me, so it's only fair if I steal something from them. Also, this was kind of interesting subject, go down memory lanes, what were the first games I played, and what really wanted me to stick with gaming, and what made me the nerd I am today. With, kind of lackluster sex life. If I would have gone the bodybuilder route, I think I might have seen a lot more action, but I went with games cause, I didn't think this thing through, so here we are. So 5 games that made me the gamer I am today, and take a look at those games. We have to go back all the way to the 80s. First game I have on this list, I wanted to put the first game I actually ever played. That's kinda hazy, I'm like 70, maybe 80% sure what it is. I remember seeing that at friend's place on computer, and I played that a lot, and I kinda immediately fell in love with games. It was so awesome, and still to this day I remember the theme song. It is so fantastic. It's so simple. It's one of those kind of like, what were the MIDI sounds? Where you kind of have those R2-D2 full of porn site viruses kind of beeps, when he's going just nuts, because there's shit that's screwing with his systems. So yeah, the music was just fucking fantastic. I like how there's like pauses that take forever. I mean, TikTok people get bored between those pauses immediately. But the game I'm talking about is Alley Cat. Yeah, the first thing that made me fall in love with gaming was cats. Which is weird, because now I have cats and I have tons of games, so maybe I got some childhood trauma there or something, and now I just collect cats and games. Anyway, Alley Cat is a fantastic game. You're a little black cat, and you run around the screen, and you're trying to basically get laid with a female cat. And you're trying to get that bitch... Wait, dogs were bitches. Well, you're trying to get that female cat pregnant and have little cat babies, kittens. Which is awesome, because kittens are the best thing in this world. The game is basically one screen, and you run around there, and there are trash cans, and from the trash cans you can jump on this fence, and from the fence you can jump into these windows that keep opening up. And in every window there's a screen-sized level, where you have to either catch mice, or maybe drop plants, or just try to get the female cat pregnant. It's a simple game, but I just fell in love with the really simplistic sound design and the colors. Just the different rooms. Also, I heard that there was an Atari version. I don't know about that, fuck that. I saw a little video and it looked kind of different, so we'll forget about that one. But the PC version, that's the one I'm talking about here. And just the starting screen and the first kind of screen where you start jumping on those trash cans and all that, it's kind of this like purple, kind of simplistic. Once you get in the room, there's like one room that's bright red, and there's a huge block of cheese, and you gotta catch all the mice in the cheese. And for me, it was the first thing I kind of saw when it came to gaming, and I was sold immediately. I was like, holy shit, this is fantastic. I mean, later in life, I haven't seen colors that bright until I was introduced mushrooms. But the Alley Cat, that was pretty much the game that started my career as a gamer, and fell in love with the game, the musics, and the graphics, which is weird. The controls were kind of not the greatest. I mean, that cat moves like it has 3 feet, especially when you're trying to jump around, so keep that in mind. It's kind of a bitch when you're trying to get to those windows or try to catch the mice or anything else. It's a chore, but still, everything else in that game is just so, how would you say that, sympathetic. It's just so colorful and cheery with the music and all. I can't but love it. I mean, yesterday I played few games, I got a couple of kittens, loved it, loved my time with the game. Even yesterday, it's 2024 and I'm playing a simple cat game and I'm enjoying it more than anything that, Ubisoft put out in the last 15 years. So, hey, it's great. Now, second game that made me a gamer was kind of revolutionary. I mean, that really blew my mind. It was on NES, but it wasn't just any NES game. No, this one was Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt, that was revolutionary for a kid like me. I mean, you took a zapper, which was this plastic, kind of ridiculous looking pistol. It was orange and gray. I think there was another model too, but that's the one I had. And you point it at the screen, you pull the trigger, and blam, the fucking duck dies. It drops down, it dies. That's amazing. Back then, from like, I don't know, 3 years old, we started watching like Rambo and Schwarzenegger movies and all those. So, we loved guns. Guns were great. So to have your own gun, which you can use to actually shoot something, and it dies, that was just, there was nothing like it. Where Alley Cat taught me that games are a thing, and I love them, Duck Hunt taught me that games can actually be kind of really innovative, and you can have cool peripherals and all that bring more immersion and all that into it. Let's not forget the dog though. The dog fucking sucked. I mean, there hasn't been, after that Duck Hunt dog, there hasn't been another character in gaming that has been as infuriating as that goddamn mutt. If you miss, that dog will let you know it. It's that laugh. That's a laugh that drives a person in the brink of insanity. I hate that dog. But Duck Hunt, it was just innovative. It was awesome. It was great. I loved it. Third game that made me a gamer was a game that actually got me hooked in like one game for fucking countless of hours. I probably played hundreds of hours this game. Loved it. It was so goddamn good. It was a game called XCOM Terror from the Deep.
Airlock clear. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jake, you read me, Jake.
I've talked about XCOM games on my channel and how much I love the combat in those. It's turn-based, tactical, kind of strategic action game where you have your team and then there are a bunch of aliens and you're trying to take down the aliens, and you have your base, you kind of build in your base, you can research weapons, you can research all kinds of ships, and you can research the alien bodies, do autopsies and all that, so you can learn their weaknesses and stuff like that. I don't know, anal probe them just because they anal probed you first. Now XCOM games have that isometric view and you can see kind of the feel. Well, you can't see the whole level. You start from your ship and as you move around the map, there's this black fog over the level, so as you move around you can kind of get to see more and more, and then there are aliens and you take your turns, you kind of move from cover to cover because you don't want to be out in the open, because that way you'll get shot fast. That's how it kind of works. But that was the first game that actually made me think strategically how to deploy my units. That was a game that really made me immerse and care about my characters too, because you had your team, and once one team member died, they were dead for good. You could hire more, but they wouldn't be the same one. And of course your team members, the more they survived, the more they gained a level, or they got better. Not exactly levels, but they just got better, got more health, more strength. They became better soldiers, so it always hurt when you lost one. I remember when I first got that game, I was so into it. During school we were always kind of changing war stories with friends. That one had destructible environments. That was you can throw a grenade and the fucking wall is gone. It's gone. There was a wall, you threw a grenade, it blew up. No wall. Now you're looking at me like I just got some kind of stroke or something, but no, back then, that was amazing. I mean, even this day, walls don't really break that much in games. There are a few games where they do, but most games, they just don't break. So, that kind of sucks. But back then, when XCOM game, it gave you some, kind of new type of strategic options. You could just blow up the wall if you knew that the house was infested with aliens, and loved it. I actually loved the first game in the series, UFO Enemy Unknown. I think it's XCOM something in US, but here in Europe it was UFO Enemy Unknown. I played that after Terror from the Deep, and I actually loved that more than XCOM Terror from the Deep, because XCOM Terror from the Deep, that had a lot of underwater levels, and no, my fear of sharks had nothing to do with it, but they all had that kind of blue color scheme, the screen was kind of bluish always, blue tint. In that sense it kind of made it look a bit monotonic towards the the end. So, I wasn't really a fan of that. It wasn't like Alley Cat, which had all the colors and 10 more you can't even name. But UFO, the first one, that took place on dry land most of the times. XCOM, Terror from the Deep, also had dry land missions, but, they were kind of, the more you advanced, they began to become more rare. I think at one point you didn't really even get any dry land missions. Where Duck Hunt told me that games could be revolutionary and, have all kinds of peripherals and be cool like that. XCOM taught me that games could actually require some brain usage. They can be really immersive in a way that you feel for your characters, and it just got me really into strategic games. It was great. Fourth game that made me the gamer I am today was one that made me the little pervert I am today. Leisure Suit Larry. It had some extra name. Lounge of Lizards. I can't fucking remember that. Fuck. The Land of the Lounge Lizards. And when it comes to the first Larry game, I was on 3rd grade. I was 9 or 10 years old, somewhere around there. Yeah, we actually had this computer class that you could take after school. Well, not computer class. It was in computer class, and you could go there and play computer games for like an hour or two, something like that. I don't remember, but they had Leisure Suit Larry. Back then, teachers didn't give a fuck, You give the kids games, they'll keep busy, and that's it. So, I played Larry there often. It was so great. I never got through it back then. I played through on older age, but back then, yeah, no. First of all, I wasn't really that great at English. I'm not saying I'm good at English these days either, but back then, I really didn't know except a couple of words. But Larry, you had to type in everything you wanted to do, so that game made me learn English faster than school, because actually in Finland, I think the English started at 3rd grade. So yeah, I pretty much just had the basics, like, my name is this and this, and how are you? I am fine. But god damn it, Larry made me learn English faster than anyone else. I wanted to learn English, I was motivated to learn English just so I could get those prophylactics and get it on with a chick and see that goddamn black censor bar go ooh, 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 ooh. Once you got the sex part, it was just black censor bar going ooh, 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 on your screen, and that was the coolest thing you had ever seen at that age. Also, Larry was kind of the first point and click adventure. Well, it wasn't point and click because you had to write everything you wanted to do, so in that sense, but it was like pre-point and click. Before adventure games evolved into point and click, where you could just use your mouse and pick a hand and push something on the screen, and the character would take it or touch it or tell you that don't touch that, we don't know where you've been. But those first games, you had to actually know English and write all the things you wanted to do. So yeah, when I went to the store and I wanted some condoms, I wrote prophylactics, which is goddamn million times harder word than condoms. But I didn't know the word condoms. Someone taught me prophylactics, so I wrote prophylactics and I got prophylactics, and guess what? I avoided AIDS because I used prophylactics, because if you do the chick without the prophylactics, well, then you get AIDS. But yeah, Larry games really started my love for the adventure genre, or the point and click adventure things, where you didn't really have to do all this action. You kind of took your time, your pace, you tried to find items and just try to figure out where to use them, or maybe combine them and then use that. They could be really confusing at times, but back then we managed. If you got stuck, you had to find a friend from the yard that knew what to do next, and ask them, and usually they asked something back, so you had to do some kind of fucking favors. And Jesus, now that I think about it, it was kind of we were like little mafia back then. Instead of whacking someone, we just kind of traded candy or I don't know, $1 or $2. But Larry games really taught me that games could be kind of adventure, and there could be some storytelling, and they could be more story driven, even though first Larry really didn't have like that much of a story. It was just going around and trying to get laid, but it was the more story driven game I played then. So in that sense, it was kind of I really dug that. I fell in love with the storytelling in games because of first Larry, which explains why I am the way I am, kind of. But stories got better, but that was kind of like my first taste that, hey, This game isn't about the action, it's about, coherent storytelling, kind of coherent. It was funny too, it showed me that games could be funny, they could have humor in it. I'll always remember when you buy those prophylactics from the store seems to be empty, because Larry's kind of checking around, that nobody sees or hears. Once you buy those, all other people suddenly just come from behind the store shelves and yell pervert or something like that. That was like the funniest thing back then. It was great. And the last game that made me the gamer I am today was Ultra Violent, and man, it was just the best shooter ever. That really blew my mind. It was Doom 2.
When you want to play the hottest, fastest, most advanced fighting game ever, forget everything else and play Doom 2 on your PC. No other game gives you the incredible realism, the 360-degree smooth scrolling, and explosive action like Doom 2.
And the reason why it was Doom 2 was because when we got our first computer, it had Doom 2 already in it. So, I had missed the first Doom, and also I had missed Wolfenstein 3D, which I got both those later on, and I loved those too, but Doom 2 was my first touch in first-person, really gory shooters. I mean, what could be more awesome for an 11-year-old than, run around space station and just massacre the shit out of some hell demons and zombies and all kinds of shit with chainsaws and shotguns and plasma rifles and BFGs and rocket launchers and minigun. It was fantastic. Everyone loved Doom. I remember, everyone. Well, okay, just us pale, skinny nerds loved Doom, because everyone else had real hobbies and real things they did. Yeah, back then gaming was ours. That's why it was so great. Now it's all kind of diluted to shit. But, back then it was just quality, because it was us skinny nerds doing sick shit we wanted to play. That's when we got Mortal Kombats and Tekkens and Jak and Daxters and Super Mario's, Donkey Kong, Zeldas. It was all geared towards hardcore gamers, which there aren't any anymore, They died after the 90s, because that's when they started making Barbie games and horse games and blah, 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 blah. Not bitter. It's great that others wanted to invade our fucking hobby. That's always great, Yeah. Forget the core audience. Just let's make shit for everyone. I'm not mad at all that all the jocks back then who had muscles and were good looking and all the pretty little blondes, they were like, that looks fun. They should make crap for us too. They came and invaded our, who were the losers, hobby and took it to themselves, Yeah. But, where was I? Doom 2. Doom 2 was great. It was guts everywhere. There was beating heart. Was that Wolfenstein 3D? I can't remember. No, Doom 2 had beating hearts too. They were there on pedestals but yeah, Doom 2. Doom 2 kind of taught me when it came to games that games could be for adults too. Every one of these games that I mentioned here all taught me some kind of aspects, new aspects when it came to gaming, what they could provide or what they could offer. So, these were all kind of learning experience. That's why I chose this. All are old as shit, yeah, but I'm old as shit, and that's when I learned gaming. Doom taught me that games could be ultra violent and they could be with adult themes and they could be just, intense, gory experiences. So, I was really into that. I've always loved gory in games too, I'm not saying games need that. I actually do like some of the, kids platforming games and all those, if they're well made, so I'm not really mad about those. Well, kind of, but not as much as you think. I'm just kind of stuck in my ways. I'm an old bastard. I like old shit, and I don't like anyone stepping on my yard. Those were the 5 games that made me the gamer I am today, and probably the screw loose I am today too. Not all there, but I manage. I think I'm perfectly capable of navigating my way through so-so life in modern day too. But fuck off and let's fuck back here when I upload more crap. That's all I got. 5 games that made me the man I am today. The gamer, at least. I'm gonna go and you know what? I think I might try to make a couple of kittens in Alley Cat.